Morning.
Good morning,
You
Alexis.
spoke to another guy pretty big in the world of business, Warren Buffett. You traveled over to Omaha to speak to him. What did he have to say about the banking sector?
Well, he had a lot to say because he's invested in this sector for quite some time, Alexis, and also he's gotten to be very close to Jamie Dimon. Interesting, his take on banking was that maybe it's not going to be a huge home run, but it's always a pretty good investment that's reliable, that beats the market over time. Take a listen.
It seems like you've got a big weighting in financials, and of course you finally invested in Jamie Dimon's company. Why banks right now?
They're businesses I understand, and I like the price at which they're selling relative to their future prospects. I think 10 years from now that they'll be worth more money, and I feel there's a very high probability I'm right. And I don't think they will turn out to be the best investments at all of the whole panoply of things you could do, but I'm pretty sure that they won't disappoint me.
You said you're surprised that interest rates have been this low this long, but isn't that because of accommodating central banks' policies around the world, and how deflationary technology is in society? Do you think that has something to do with it, those two?
You can always look back and frame up the reasons, but in the end, nobody was telling me, if somebody told me 10 years ago what was going to happen in the next 10 years, we could have made a lot of money in the bond market together, but there's always a reason afterwards. Tomorrow's paper will say stocks went down today because of, but they didn't write it this morning's paper that stocks are going to go down today. You have to know what you don't know, and you have to make sure that what you don't know isn't all important. I mean, if there's 4 boxes there, you want to get to what is knowable and which is favorable. And there's things that you'll miss out on because they belong in the other 3 boxes, one of which will be favorable, another one that's favorable. And the fact that you're missing out on 90% of the stuff doesn't really make any difference if the 10% you do is right.
Yeah, and Buffett has gotten to be close with Jamie Dimon, Alexis, because they're working on this healthcare initiative together,
right,
along with Jeff Bezos. So they have spent some quality time together. And of course, understanding banking and insurance, it's a pretty sophisticated game, and Buffett is certainly up to that.
Yeah, I'd say, but certainly that has worked better in his favor, having some shares in JP Chase versus another bank that he owns shares in.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that Warren Buffett has owned exactly the wrong bank for a number of years now, because he's owned Wells and not JP Morgan. JP Morgan is more of a recent purchase, whereas Wells he's had for a very long time. And just for instance, over the past 5 years, JP Morgan is up about 90%, the market's up about 50%. Wells is actually down over that time period. So, he would say that, well, over time Wells has been okay, and that's true, but, JPM has been a better bet, and he missed a lot of that upside.